Hello dear students, welcome back to my science class. Today I am going to teach you chapter 13 of your NCERT book, that is Time and Motion. You are watching the channel Learn Science with Munmun ma'am. Hello dear students, welcome back to my science class. Today I am going to continue with the chapter Motion and Time. Today's class we will start our discussion from measurement of time. That is exactly where we concluded in our last class. In our last class, we have discussed about measurement of time with the help of simple pendulum. There we have discussed what is oscillation of a simple pendulum, what do we mean by time period of a simple pendulum. Today we will start our discussion with measurement of time again. Paheli wondered how time was measured when pendulum clocks were not available. Many time measuring device was used in different parts of the world before the pendulum clocks become popular. Like sundials, water clocks, sand clocks are some examples of such devices. Different designs of these devices were developed in different parts of the world. If you visit Jantar Mantar in Delhi, you will get to see sundial there. So different other clocks like sundials, water clocks, sand clocks, these are used in to measure time in previous ancient time when pendulum was not discovered. Now measuring speed, we know that speed equal to distance by time. Having learned how to measure time and distance, now you can calculate the speed of an object. Let us find the speed of a ball moving along the ground. This is a simple experiment. You just can draw a straight line on the ground with chalk powder or lime and ask your friends to stand 1 to 2 meters away from it and let your friend gently roll a ball along the ground in a direction perpendicular to the line. Note the time at the moment the ball crosses the line and also when it comes to rest. So, by calculating total distance and the total time taken by the ball to cover that distance, you can easily measure the speed of the ball. That is how we measure speed. The smallest time interval that can be measured with commonly available clocks and watches is 1 second. However, now special clocks are available that can measure time in intervals smaller than a second. Some of these clocks can measure time interval as small as 1 millionth or even 1 billionth of a second. So you can understand how small fraction of second nowadays we are able to measure quite accurately with the help of this improved and advanced clock. You might have heard the term like microsecond, nanosecond. 1 microsecond is 1 millionth of a second and 1 nanosecond is 1 billionth of a second. Clocks that measure such small time intervals are used for scientific research. Space research, different scientific research, we need to measure time quite accurately. The time measuring devices used in sports can measure time intervals that are 1/10 and 1/100th of a second. On the other hand, times of historical events are stated in terms of centuries or millenniums. The age of stars and planets are often expressed in billions of years. Can you imagine the range of time intervals that we have to deal with? So, we can measure time in 1 billionth of a second also, and we can measure time in billions of years also. So that depends on our requirement, actually what we want to express in time. So these are the some previously used sundial that I was talking about, that you can see in Jantar Mantar, Delhi. Sand clock, water clock, these are some of the clocks that are used in ancient time when pendulum was not discovered. So this is how you can measure the speed of a ball. It's very simple one. Now, rockets launching satellite into Earth's orbit, often at a speed of 8 km per second in 1 second, covering a distance of 8 km. On the other hand, a tortoise can move only at speed about 8 cm per second. Can you calculate how fast is the rocket compared to a tortoise? So if we need to compare the two speed, we need to convert this into same unit, right? If one is in kilometer, other need to be converted into kilometer. Whenever we will do numericals, we will see that whenever we will do this kind of conversion, we have to convert the units into same, then only we can do the conversion. Once you know the speed of an object, you can find the distance moved by it in a given time. All you have to do is to multiply the speed by time. So distance covered is equal to speed into time. You can also find the time an object would take to cover a distance while moving with a given speed. This is one example showing you that how you can convert the speed. I told you that if one is given in kilometer per hour, one is given in centimeter per hour, it will be difficult to compare unless we are converting them into same. So here is one example showing you that how you can convert kilometer per hour to meter per second. 320 kilometer per hour. As we know, 1 kilometer equal to 1000 meter. So 320 into 1000, and 1 hour equal to 60 into 60, 3600 seconds. So this is how we can convert kilometer per hour to meter per second. That means the given value into 1000 by 3600. In this way, we can convert kilometer per hour to meter per second. These are some given data which you can convert it into meter per second to practice it. Now, how we can measure speed in our vehicles? You might have seen a meter fitted on the top of a scooter or motorcycle. Similarly, meters can be seen on the dashboards of cars, buses, and other vehicles. Note that one of the meter has kilometer per hour written in one corner. This is called a speedometer. A speedometer in a vehicle helps to measure the speed of the vehicle. Now we will come to distance time graph. We need to plot distance and time to show that what is the speed of a car, what distance covered by a car or any vehicle in a given time, right? Here another important point for you, that distance covered, speed is measured by speedometer and distance is measured by odometer. Now we will see how we can plot a distance time graph. These are some of the examples of graph. You can see a pie chart showing composition of air that you have learned in the junior classes, and this one we will do in this to plot distance time graph. In a graph paper we have to do that. Okay, I will show it to you how we can plot distance time graph. So dear children, now I will show you how to draw distance time graph. First I am showing you this in a blank page. Before you draw the line graph, first you have to draw the two lines perpendicular to each other and intersecting at a point. This is the x-axis, x, o, x dot of your graph, and this is the y-axis, y, o, y dot. Now at this point, the value of both x and y is 0. Okay. Now from this point, as we will move, the value of x-axis will be positive. In this side, it will be negative. If we take an example, suppose this is plus 1. Then this is plus 2, plus 3, and so on. and here it is -1, -2, -3 and so on. So in x-axis this is the positive side and this is the negative side. Similarly in y-axis this is the positive part, +1, +2, +3 and this is the negative side, -1, -2, -3. Whenever we will draw distance time graph, we have to deal with the positive parts only. Distance and time both we will get only in positive value. So we can draw only this part to draw our distance time graph. Okay. Now just take a look at this data. See here where time is given in hour and distance is given in kilometer. Children, please note I have not written hours and kilometers because unit always be in singular number and never plural. If you see this, in 1 hour distance covered by certain vehicle 5 km, 2 hour 10 km, 3 hour 15 km, 4 hour 20 km, 5 hour 25 km. Okay, this is the total distance covered and time taken. Now if we want to plot it, as I told you that we don't have to deal with the negative point of the x and y axis, so we just can draw the positive axis while drawing our graph, right? So I am not showing you x dot and y dot, I am just showing you O, X and Y. Always by conventional we will plot time in x-axis. In the bracket we will write hour because it is given in hour. And in y-axis we will plot distance. Children, always we will plot distance in y-axis only. So distance showed in kilometer in y-axis. Now take a look at the data. As our data is showing first, second, third, fourth and fifth hour and distance 5, 10, 15, 20 and 25. Now I am plotting that. Okay. This is our first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour, fifth hour. And this is the distance covered. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So we will see how to plot the dots. In 1 hour distance covered is 5 kilometers. So at the point of intersection 1 and 5 giving 1 dot. 2 hour and 10 kilometers. So it will be here. 3 hour and 15 kilometers. So it will be here. 4 hour and 20 kilometer. So it will be here. And 5th hour 25 kilometer, it will be here. Now you have to join them together. Not getting my scale, so just I am joining with my hand, children. You will use a scale while doing so. So see, children, you are getting a straight line. That straight line told you that this is a uniform motion. That is why we can see a steep rise in the graph. So this is uniform motion. If we don't get the straight line, this will be non-uniform motion. That also I will show you. So I hope you have understood how you have to plot distance time graph. Okay, taking another example, here also I have taken x-axis, time within bracket hour as mentioned, and then distance in kilometer as mentioned. This is the y-axis. Now as the data given, time is 3 hour, then 6 hour, 9, 12 and 15. I am plotting that 3, 6, 9, 12 and 15. So you see, in the previous one I have taken this distance as 5, 10, 15, right? So you have to see that what is given to you, and accordingly as convenience you have to plot it. Okay, now distance given in kilometer is 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Right, now I will plot. Though I am using here pen, you will use a sharply pointed pencil. So in 3 hour 10 kilometer, you have to give this point very prominently. Then 20 kilometer, 10, 20, 30 kilometer in 9th hour, so giving it accordingly, and then 40 kilometer in 12th hour and 50 kilometer in 15th hour. So properly pointed, and then so now we have to add these points. Exactly the line go through the middle of the points. So here also you are getting a straight line, so it is also depicting uniform motion. Okay. Now we'll take another example. See this example, distance time. Time is given in hour, distance in kilometer. Okay, first hour, second hour, third hour, fourth hour and fifth hour, and this is the distance covered. So we will now plot the graph. This is our x-axis, time in hour, distance in kilometer, right? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first, second, third, fourth and fifth hour. Accordingly I am plotting here 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5. See the distance in first hour 10 kilometers. So if this is 10 kilometer, plotting. So taking another example, children, before that just take a look at the graph paper. This is 1 millimeter graph paper. Previously we have used this graph paper. This is inch graph paper. I am taking both the two just to show you. You can take any one out of this. So this is another example where time is given in hour, distance in kilometer. You can see already I have plotted time, first, second, third, fourth and fifth in x-axis, and in y-axis now I will plot the distance. So in first hour, distance covered is 10 kilometer. So I am plotting it accordingly. See in the second hour 15 kilometer. So if it is 10, then this is 20. So I have to take in 15 in between, right? So second hour 15 kilometers should be here. Now in third hour 25. So if this is 10, this is 20. Now this is 25. So I am plotting it accordingly. 25. In fourth hour 35. So it is 10, then 20, then 30. Now this is my 35. 35 in fourth hour. So I am just plotting that. Okay, in fifth hour 40. So this is fifth hour and 40 kilometer. So children, now you can see if I want to join them with a straight line, it is not possible, right? So I have to join point by point here. You will join all the point using a scale, right? All the points should be joined using scale. So in this way I have to join the point. You can see I have not got a straight line here. So this is one example of non-uniform motion. In this way we do distance time graph. Whatever data is given to you, you have to plot it accordingly and properly, and then you have to add those points. I hope you have understood it well. We will practice some more in our class. Thank you.